Well, hello and good morning to everyone. This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice, we shall sing, and we shall be glad in it. As you can tell, I'm in the big chair today and I'm back in my office. I'm home. I know you're shocked. But I'm Dr. Julia Royston of BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the coaching community, the Book Business Bosses, where we help you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. So I am home today. I'll be headed on the road next week. But today we want to talk about he gave me chosen. He's not taking it back. So I don't know if this is a remembrance for somebody, a warning for somebody, an alert for somebody. But so I, as of my 60th birthday, which was May 29th. So, and thank you so much for all your calls, gifts, everything, text messages, inboxes. I really, really appreciate it. And even though we're like in our second week of June, I just still want to thank you for everything. But he's not taking it back. I can truthfully say that my 8-year-old self saw some things, dreamed some things, and didn't even really fully realize what I was dreaming and understanding that now that it was God who put it in me and ideas and creativity and all that. But he exceeded any of my expectations and he exceeded all of my even the things I had thought, he exceeded it. But he brought it all back around full circle. So he's not taking it back. Romans 11:29 says, "For the gifts and callings of God are without repentance." So he's not taking it back. He's not repenting that he did it. Now he repented that he made man, and we do know that. And then he came in himself at 42 generations, wrapped himself in flesh, and redeemed man. But your gift and your calling, he has the plan. We talked about that last week. He's got the plan. He knows everything. So therefore, it's best to number one, answer the call. Answer the call. There are certain things that, he's not taking back. Certain things that I do now that are really out of my comfort zone. But after I do it, I realize he's prepared me for this. Okay, I can do this. It may not look like whatever other people do and how they do it and all that, but and people try to put it in a box. Like, is Julia preaching now? No, I'm just saying what he says say, and that's all I'm doing. I'm not trying to categorize it. I don't want no title. I'm good. 60 years old, whatever it is, it is. Is that what you want to classify it? You go ahead. You want to put a name on it if that makes you feel better, great. But as far as I'm concerned, I got to get to heaven and I want to see Jesus. That's it. So I want to obey what he says and do what he says. And that's all we doing. At this stage in our game, this stage in life, that's all we doing. So one thing is to answer the call. And sometimes the call comes with kicking and screaming and really, and how's it going to be? And if you're like me, you got all these questions and you got all these things you want to know and you need details because I'm a planner. I like to prepare and but some things you have no preparation for because one, I've never been 60. Two, I've never been retired. Three, I've never been a full-time entrepreneur. And I've worked in business with my dad and ministry and church and all that, but I've never done it on my own with my own name and all that. Never done that. So sometimes you have to answer the call with the fear of the unknown. You have to, as Joyce Meyer says, you got to do it afraid. Sometimes you have to say, okay, God, is this really you? Direct me, point me, lead me, guide me, bring me the people, And so, you have to answer the call. Yes, but I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, but I don't have a clue. Yes, I'm going to need a coach. Yes, but I say yes to you, God, but am I saying yes to what? And so then, so this is part two of that answer the call. So some of you are like, no, I'm not doing that. But you can run, but you can't. That's saying you can run, but you can't hide. And remember, God's eternal. He can wait you out. He can bring circumstances, situations, lack of money, some money, put you in rooms, uh, get you before people, let them ask you, give you choices that, as the old folks say, he can slow walk you down. You can run, but you can't hide. He'll slow walk you down because the chosen, he's not taking it back. He's not. He chose you. He knows what's inside of you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The gifts, the talents, the abilities, the shortcomings, I don't want to, and some days I'm not doing good, and some days I am doing good, and some days you can run, but you can't hide. So back to number one, answer the call. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Sometimes that's my yes. That's my closest yes I get. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And then I'll leave it at that. And God goes, oh, really? Is that where you're going to go? You're not going to say yes? No, I'm not going to. Well, yeah. I mean, so you still got to answer the call. And then number 3, realize that you're being prepared. Preparation from the master. Let the master prepare you. He knows exactly the lessons. He knows exactly the assignments. He knows exactly the situation. He knows exactly. Don't try to, rush the process. Don't try to prepare yourself. You got to prepare. You can prepare yourself spiritually and mentally. You can fast and pray and get deeper in your word. If it's a business or a natural thing, you can study. You can take classes. You can get a coach. You can try to prepare that way. But let the master prepare you. Let him guide you. Let him tell you you need a class. And sometimes it's not him verbally saying that. Sometimes he brings people to you. Sometimes he brings situations to you that, God, is that you? And he said, yeah, that's me talking. Okay, good. And then you move forward. Sometimes it's free, and free, how you don't get better than free. So preparation from the master. He's a master preparer. And sometimes you don't even realize you're in preparation. You just like, that was hard. Oh, that wasn't fun. Oh, but I learned a lot. Oh, I didn't like it. It didn't turn out like I liked. It didn't turn out like I wanted. Oh, but what did you learn? What did you come away with? What are the tools you came with? What do you know that if you had it to do all over again, what would you do differently? That's a part of the preparation. A part of the preparation is people that come in your life that don't look like you, come from your same background, but you realize, ooh, they have a word. Ooh, they spoke right into my life. Ooh, they answered questions that only me and God knew I had. Now, my husband and I might have mentioned it, but otherwise, sometimes he retains what I'm saying, and sometimes he doesn't. I didn't remember all that what you said, but God remembers. Sister Beavers in my church said Jesus remembers when others forget. So he's preparing you and all that. It's all working. He's molding you and making you and preparing you. Because remember, you're chosen and he's not taking it back. So number 1, you got to answer the call. Number 2, realize you can run, but you can't hide. So just give up on that. Just put your hands up and say, I give. God, I'm yours. You know what's in me. You know the good, the bad, and the ugly. Fix it. Do it. If you want to use me, it's maybe I'm going to need you every step of the way. And of course, sometimes, let me just say this. Sometimes he wants you to need him every step of the way. If you don't need him, oh, how's that work? He's jealous. He don't like that kind of thing. Your husband doesn't. Your wife doesn't. They at times like to, okay, I need your help with something. And sometimes they rise to the occasion. They like, yes, I've been waiting on her. Because when you're a multi-gifted, talented person and independent like me, sometimes it takes a lot for you to say, okay, I need your help. And sometimes if it's not a spouse, you need help from a friend. So sometimes you're in situations because God wants you to need him. He wants to rely on you. He wants you to rely on him to take you through every step of the way. Because that's preparation from the master. Yay! And then I know we don't like that preparation thing. And we definitely, this next step, we don't like process. So I work for, many of you know, I work for a Fortune 500 company in Cincinnati, Ohio. It don't take you long to, one of the biggest employers in the whole city. One of the biggest. There may be some other ones, but you can gather where I worked. And I worked in research and development and food and beverage worldwide. And some of those things that they were producing took years to produce. I worked there in the 90s. God only let me work there a year. I was devastated when I had to leave. But anyway, some of the things that they're putting out on the market now, they were doing the research for it back then in the 90s, because it took that long to get it to market. It took that long to get it to where it was ready for market. And all the risks they took, and all the time they took, and all the creativity, and all the changes in engineers, and changes in chemical makeup, and then the FDA, and all the requirements that have changed over time. The processing takes time. So I see people that are striving to skip steps. They're striving to leap over processes. They want to be on big stages, but they don't want to go live and consistently and speak on small stages. They want to be big on big stages. And God may have that for them, but they're not willing to be like me, who was directing invisible choirs in the basement when I was 8 and 9 years old. Yeah. I used to put on the Andre Crouch records and all of that, and the Love Alive 1, 2, 3, 4, and direct when there was nothing but chairs and stuffed animals in the basement. Hello. And practice before I ever stood before a choir to direct anything. They don't want them steps. They want to be the big stage, the big conference, the big event, the big stage. But you can't skip steps, because you can't just all of a sudden, poof, I'm here. When you see people and they're on the main stage and on big stages, and you think, where'd they come from? They just coming. You're just noticing them. But they've been on, Moses, they've been on the backside of the mountain practicing, working on that thing, throwing that rod down, working that thing, refining it, developing it, sitting in a class, watching a YouTube video, following people, getting a coach, getting a mentor, standing in front of people, telling people and people tell them, oh, you're terrible. You'll never make it in this business. Oh, you're terrible. You'll never make it in. And getting all those no's, working until you get that one yes. But you got to, and you can tell people that have had it very, very hard, because when they finally do make it, we make it look easy. Other people, they make it look easy. You make it look easy. It's not easy. I'm the girl who had to get up at 4 to 6 o'clock in the morning, and then leave out, jump in the shower at 7, and then be sliding into the school by 9:05 so I could, have the funding and to keep a job and insurance, and work long enough to get a pension, and then work at night and work on the weekends and work. We make it look easy. But that processing, that putting your time in, is, don't skip them skips. Don't skip those. Don't skip that. The discipline of getting up early, the discipline of staying up late, the discipline of meeting deadlines and turning it in on time. That's a discipline. That's a part of it. Education is a discipline. Probably a majority of the part of education is being able to regurgitate information, but also to meet deadlines, to put it in the format, to package it in the way that the professor wants. Because eventually you're going to have to do that with a boss in a job, or for a client in a company, for a nonprofit board. So it's the discipline of that. So the processing, don't skip steps. The steps may be hard. The steps may be long. The steps may be tedious. The steps that I took, the processing that I went through, was no fun. Going through that, I would have loved to skip steps and retire at 51. I would have loved to retire at 50, but I wouldn't be ready. My business wouldn't have been ready, and I wouldn't have been ready. I didn't know enough. I didn't have enough clients. I wasn't in a position for that. Now, the chosen, he's not taking it back, but you still got to go through preparation. You still got to go through the process to get where you are now. And I know people say, oh, I can do it as much as they can. I can be as good. You can be, but you can't be. You haven't been through what it takes to be them. Yeah, you'll get there. but you can't be there now just starting. Really. You're gonna be at square one and be as good as somebody who's been doing it 25 years. I don't care what that thing is. I don't care how much education you have. There's something about experience that doesn't help. My husband and the younger guys who would come in, and that's what they're missing now. He's been retired 4 years, almost 5 years, and they trying to recruit him to come back to the job he had, because what they lost was experience. What they lost was expertise. What they lost was their history walking out the front door. What they lost was the backstory, the back end. And they may have younger that may have more degrees than a thermometer, but they don't have experience with the company. So they're coming in raw. They don't know the people to call. They don't know the information to get. They don't know where that file is. They don't know where that is. You got to start all over from scratch. Oh, yeah, you got all the education part, but you don't have the rest of it. You don't have you don't have the years of experience. When I retired, there was 5 of us, I think, that retired. And the principal was like, do y'all realize combined there's like 100 and some years, I don't even remember the whole number, that's walking at the door of experience. And you may have a younger person, may have a PhD and be able to do on paper, but they don't have any experience doing it. Action, activity, the good, the bad, what they've seen, and we've seen this before. Oh, we know this before. Because you have the experience. But you're chosen, but you can't skip the steps. Please don't skip the steps. And then finally, give the giver of the gifts the call, what he's due. Make sure, it may be 10 of you, but make sure you're the one that goes back. I'm the one who's going to go back and say thank you. I'm the one who's going to go back and give you the glory and honor. I'm the one who's going to say, oh, greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. He's the one that helped me. Yeah, he used me. He allowed me to be in this space, but he's the one who did it. He's the one who gave me the advice. He's the one. Be sure and give the giver of the gift and the caller and the one who's processing you, the one who's preparing you, what he's due. He's due the glory and honor from your life. He's due the respect. He's due the credit. Giving honor to God, who's the head of my life. I heard that so many times on the testimony floor in my home church, but it is more prevalent now today in my life. To God be the glory was not just a song I sang for years. It's not just a phrase. To God be the glory. I mean, it was when I was younger, it was just something good and a nice church rhetoric to say. But now that I'm older, I give him glory more and more and more. I don't care what room I'm in and what faith walk the other people have. Yeah, I'm cognizant of where I'm at. But I know that it's God that gives me. He said he was the one who power to get wealth. He's the one who gives you the ideas, the creativity. A man's gift make room for him, but the giver of the gift is still God. Give the giver of the gift the call, what he's due. Give him the glory and honor that is due unto his name. That's what we were created. We were created to worship him. We were created to love him. We were created to be what he's called us to be. Chosen. He's not taking it back. For the gifts and calling of God are without repentance. He's not taking it back. I hope that blesses you today. If you, all of my contact information is, and all of my online sites and everything are available at JuliaAKRoyston.com. If you're interested in writing a book, publishing a book, or information about that, go to talkwithroyston.com and let's have a conversation. I'm grateful for all the travels that I've done this past week. Thank you for all of you that supported, even if you didn't come, but you shared the flyer, shared the information that we had of the BK Royston Publishing Virtual Summit, preparing for what's next. That was held on June 10th. Thank you so much for that. And I greatly appreciate all of you. I saw it a lot over social media, and I want to tell you thank you for sharing. I put it in the comments, but I want to publicly tell you thank you for sharing and helping that event push. I've got a lot going on this week. On June 13th, I will be at Ivy Tech in Sellersburg, Indiana. On Wednesday, June 14th, BK Royston Publishing Books will be at the Muhammad Ali Center, there for the Network Entrepreneur Women new event, the Business Showcase. On Thursday, I'll be in Birmingham, Alabama at the Alabama Black Chamber of Commerce. Alabama Black Chamber of Commerce in Birmingham, Alabama, speaking at their business conference. Looking forward to that. I'll be back home on Friday. And then Saturday, June 17th, I will be at 4th Street Live for the Melanair Marketplace right there on 4th Street Live for Juneteenth. I won't be there the whole weekend. I'll just be there that Saturday. So, and then we'll be enjoying on Sunday, June 18th. Happy Father's Day to everybody. So, as you can tell, woo, we got a big week ahead of us, and July plans to be a huge month too as well. So, be sure and follow me on social media. I should be at 5,000 on my personal page. So be sure and go to Julia Royston Enterprises page, BK Royston Publishing page, Royal Media and Publishing page, Book Business Bosses page, and follow those pages so that you can keep up with everything that's going on. My personal page, I have no rooms for any other friends, so check back in there when you want to. My billboard up top is just has a lot of upcoming events, as well as meet Brian and Julia, where I'm coming up next and where I'm going to be and all that good stuff. So June is jumping. Hey, June is jumping. In July, it doesn't look like it's going to be slowing down anywhere soon. I'll be at Celebration of Praise. I think it's the 4th through the 6th in Orlando, Florida. And then I'll be at the Alabama Mega Conference, which is the conference of the state educators, administrators, etc., during the week of July 16th, I believe, in Mobile, Alabama. So yeah, we on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. So you all be blessed and have a phenomenal rest of the week. Coming up at Live Your Best Life at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, envision-radio.com, where praise meets talk 24/7. Be sure, if you haven't done so, to download the Envision Android app. It is free, and where podcasts are heard, be sure and listen in to some phenomenal music and some very, very informative programming right there on envision-radio.com, where praise meets talk. And then coming up at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Spike Davis and Friends, a show where tune in for Last Music and More. And then on Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Book Business Boss Show, where I am taking the 15 plus years in publishing and books and writing, etc., and pouring it into that show step by step. This season, we're talking about publishing and the steps to publishing, the parts of the book. Be sure and tune in if you're available. 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on envision-radio.com, where praise meets talk 24/7. The replays at the Book Business Boss Podcast.com. You all be blessed. Have a great day, and God be with you. Live your best life. Bye-bye.